The Pacific Northwest is a hotspot for morel mushrooms, and now is the time to find them. So joining us now to show us how to best enjoy the morel season, we welcome back cooking instructor Jessica Hansen. Hello.
Hello, Hannah.
Look at all this good stuff, and
know.
we're already sizzling. This is a great way to start things off today.
It is, and that's because I was starting with the dry pan, but we're talking about morel mushrooms. So they're kind of iconic, and they're very easy to identify.
Right.
You know, there's no other mushroom really that looks like this. There aren't a lot of copycat versions of it, but these are coming out of the Mount Hood National Forest all the way to John Day. And so we've got foragers that work with us and bring these mushrooms in, and we just started to see them about a week ago. So for those people that are mushroom savvy and want to head out, they should do that.
Now is the time.
Yep. I'm not a forager, meaning I don't trust myself after 20 years as a chef. I know what they look like, but I don't go out into the...
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn about it, do that, but take somebody that knows what they're doing with you.
Safety first.
Safety first when it comes to mushrooms. But I just don't want people to be intimidated by them. All we've chosen to do, and there's all sorts of different sizes, from big ones that you could stuff. Imagine filling using a piping bag and filling that with cheese before you roast it.
Oh, that would be cool.
That sounds delicious.
Okay.
And then the smaller ones, which I think are beautiful, I've just chosen to have them. And I'm going to be honest with you, I do this for a reason. It is nature, and so I like to cut them in half just to make sure there isn't anything living inside.
Oh,
of
sure.
It, right?
That's a great place to start.
Right? I mean, these did
a little investigation.
A little investigation. So this is another fun way to cut them because they just look so beautiful. You know, sautéing them like this. So I'm going to take these and we're putting them into a hot pan.
Okay.
You heard that sizzling as we got started.
Do you give them a quick rinse before you?
You know, I don't.
Okay.
And here's
we're going to cook it all off?
Yep. When we put them in, when they're foraged, our foragers put them in a plastic bag that's open so that it's still allowing air to come out. But there's something about that that irritates like worms and things. And so if they're in there, they come out.
Okay.
But we have my secondary safety by just taking a look at it when I'm opening it up. But other than that, we're fine. And then I'm doing a dry sauté. And why that's important is this helps to get any moisture out of the mushrooms. They tend to be a little bit chewier and better texture and a more concentrated flavor. So we're starting with that just to get any moisture, and you see the steam coming off it. That's just the moisture, which is going to condense those flavors. So I always say start with that.
Okay.
But I'll add to that I sure do like butter. And so I will, once they're starting to and it just, that nuttiness from browned butter goes so beautifully with the morels. So I will add a little bit, but I'm just moving them around with my hand till I can feel that they're starting to soften. Obviously, we could use a spoon. But they're not going to stick if you start with a very hot pan, which we're doing. Okay. And then just for fun, I'm going to add a little bit of butter just to add some flavor to them. Shake it around.
There we go.
Right? Now that they've gotten some of their liquid out of them, that's going to add flavor. And then just for adding another seasonal ingredient, I'm going to wilt a little bit of shaved asparagus.
Oh, nice.
Have you ever dealt with shaved asparagus?
I don't think so.
So imagine.
I love asparagus though.
Right? So this is a great way to eat it raw or barely wilted. And you just literally shave it like this with a vegetable peeler.
That's cool.
And it's delicious. I mean, you should just have a piece.
Maybe I could trick my kids into eating it more now if it looks like a noodle too.
Especially if you season it with some lemon juice and a little bit of salt.
That is so good.
Shaved Parmesan. So wilting that just to add some vibrant color to it. And then it doesn't take any time at all to cook.
That's true.
Right?
What a great idea.
So there's different things. So I don't want anybody to worry about needing a recipe. I'm truly just sautéing this.
Easy. With
a little bit of butter. And then I would choose to do a couple different things with it. You could. I just seared off and then baked a little chicken
look
leg,
at that.
And that would be a great accompaniment to this.
Beautiful.
Or I just cooked some fresh pasta, a splash of wine on this, and you would have a beautiful meal.
It smells
maybe
so
just a
good.
tiny bit of garlic.
Oh, there you go.
Just to drive everybody nuts here in the studio.
The
smell of garlic. No, meaning it smells so good that people come in droves. When you start to have some sauteed garlic.
Oh my gosh, now you're talking.
Okay. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of
That's
wine.
looking beautiful.
And I don't think it needs anything else, frankly.
So what's different about the taste of a morel versus other kinds of mushrooms that we're familiar with?
They have a slightly lower moisture content, and they're more dense in flavor. So imagine them like
that's
the
why
basis
they're so beloved.
They're just so seasonal. That's the thing. It is just now, and then we won't see morels again. Now, there's ways to preserve them if you've got quite a bit. We're drying them in a low temperature oven right now. We like to roast them and then freeze them. But like, how lovely is that? Just piled on top of some beautiful greens. Or as a quick pasta sauce. Again, this just
and
has
you've done
olive
it
oil.
2 ways right in front of us here. That's so simple.
There's lots of different ways, and lots of people like cream sauces. And so to add a splash of cream to this and reduce it for a few minutes is also another lovely idea.
That would be great.
Now, this is where you get to pick a little piece of that mushroom with your hands, because wouldn't that have been great if we brought you a fork?
Oh, we can find one.
I know, right?
But it's hot, but it's hot.
And finishing that with a little bit of fresh Parmesan. Right? Isn't that mushroomy?
I'm getting a fork.
Probably the best.
There are utensils in the building.
There is a way, right?
Working kitchen here.
Right?
Okay. I gotta try the whole thing. That asparagus was so bright and lovely, even uncooked. This is gonna be so yummy. Okay, I'm not gonna burn my taste buds off here though.
Should be
a little bit of everything. For your entertainment.
For your entertainment. Try to get that onto a fork. As you see, it has a very earthy flavor, but this epitomizes spring because we've got things coming out of the forest. We've got the asparagus coming out of the garden, so easy to get at a local farmer's market. These are even some shallot scapes that are the beginning of the shallots are growing in the ground. These come out. We can slice these and throw them into fresh things. The leaves off a fava bean plant. We use all of these in our cooking because it's all available, even the edible flowers that are just the first spring flowers out of the garden. So the more vegetables you can get into your meal, and again, didn't take a lot of work.
No.
Didn't take a recipe. It's just sauteing them up and finishing them with a little bit of butter, and you've got a couple of different meal variations.
You always make me believe that we can do it.
You can do it.
It's easy.
You can do it. This is easy. When it just comes straight out of the garden, you don't have to do too much to make it taste good.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was delicious. I'm going to dig into that one next. We're going to have more information on our website at katu.com, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.